Hello, this is Chris from the iSolutions lab reporting again on a series of movies that I've been doing on machine learning integrated in with FileMaker. And in previous movies, I've concentrated on integrating in Core ML into the FileMaker platform. And now I'm moving back into examples on API-driven machine learning integrations. Specifically, I wanted to draw attention to a concept within machine learning, and specifically a API source that I think is really interesting that I've been playing around with. First off, what I'm going to be concentrating on in this next couple of videos is what's called extraction. And keyword extraction or summary extraction are text analysis techniques that automatically extract the most used and most important words and expressions from a block of text. Now, this type of extraction concept uses machine learning and natural language processing, otherwise known as NLP. And what it does is it breaks down the human language so that it can understand what it's reading, understand how humans would read this, and it learns a little bit about the text itself so it can be understood by machines. And it's used to find keywords or summaries in all sorts of different texts, documents, business reports, comments like I'm going to use in this example here, online form reviews, reports. There's really no limit to it. And it's a little bit different. Text extraction, which is what I'm going to show you, is a little bit different than text classification. Classification reads text for meaning and then assigns predefined tags. Here, what it's doing is intelligently summarizing blocks of text and then pulling keywords. I've done something similar in a distance learning education type mode. Here, we're going to apply it to the same file that I've been working on in this series of free online videos, which is reviews for a rental home. So first of all, let's take a look at the API that I'll be using here. It's called SMMRY, SMMRY. You can find it at SMMRY.com, and the information on the API can be seen here. You'll need to register or get a partner key, so I have already done so. And then you can see the rules of the requests here. And now ultimately what I can do within my request is send it certain instructions. You'll notice here I need to send it the key, and I can tell it the number of keywords that I want back or the length of the summary that I want back in sentences. So I can tell it the number of sentences, the number of keywords, which is great because then we can programmatically within FileMaker say, well, if my original text is so long, then give me back this many sentences. If it's, this length, then give me back this many. Same with the keywords. And then there's all these other settings like the breaks. I like getting breaks in the text so that it's not just one big block of code, so you can turn that on. Ignore certain lengths or quotes or question marks or exclamation points. So essentially what I've done is gone in and added a bunch of these fields to the existing FileMaker system. So I happen to have an admin table where I put a bunch of global values in here. You see I can store my key. I can give it the number of sentences or number of keywords. I have that as a default setting in the application right now, but that could be changed programmatically or within a script. And then a bunch of true false because it actually asks for true values in the request itself. And then here's my guide. I just put that on the layout as sort of a guide and a link to the API documentation if I needed it. So once I've integrated all of this into the file, which was really just a series of these fields that you see, then it was a matter of creating a script to do this. So first, following the documentation on the SMMRY API site, determine what the URL is going to be, check to make sure that in this case, I'm going to be reviewing a field called comments in a table called reviews, and I'm just putting in some error trapping to make sure that it's not empty. And then I set a variable for what the output's going to be. I have to manage the curl portion of the request. So there's a URL and curl all ready to go. And then once those two are established, as you see here, we're using URL and curl in the insert from URL request. So this is the request that's made to the API. And then everything after that in the script, there's a little bit of error checking here, actually. If we get back an error from the API, I can process that error and display it to the user. Otherwise, then we're just talking about how we're going to parse different things out. So some of the things like the break will actually put this text inside of the document that's returned. the text block that's returned. So I just like to replace those with return characters. And another one is if within our result, we're actually going to then at this point extract out both a summary and keywords. So I'm getting both the summary of a block of text and keywords from a block of text. So that is functionally how this works. Let's take a look at how I'm going to express this within our demo. So first off, if you've seen the previous movies, you probably recognize this layout. I have already told a story about integrating in sentiment analysis. If you have not watched those videos and you're interested in machine learning and FileMaker, please do, because in one of the videos, I also am giving away a custom sentiment detection and sentiment analysis add-on that you can add on to your own applications if you want. But here you see the result of that. I've just taken a block of text. As a matter of fact, right now there's 21 reviews of this home. And if we look closely at the preview, you can see that they're pretty large blocks of text in a lot of these cases. And the problem that I'm going to look to solve here, and this is not by any means the only problem you can solve with this type of thing, is I want to take, I want to summarize whatever this large block of text is, could be 100 words or more, and I want it to fit visually just inside one line inside my portal. So how can I add in a model that will intelligently summarize values so that I can display them in a portal row? That's just a way that I can visually show you how to do this. The real use cases for this are endless. So first, let's talk about how we will perform our summaries. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to isolate these 21 records. You see that I've got 21 records here, and you'll notice my word count. So most of these reviews are north of 100 words, and that's just going to be too long. I'd really like one single sentence extracted from these multiple sentence word blocks. Obviously, summarization is considerably more meaningful if you have very long blocks of text. I've done a video up on LinkedIn Learning in the Learning Claire's Connect video that shows how we are extracting like very long blocks of text in emails into summaries and sending those back. But here in this case, we're just going to take this block of text in comments and we're going to analyze it with the model. And we're going to take the one sentence summary of that and up to 3 keywords and put them into the appropriate fields. So the script that you saw me show you earlier, which is the keyword, let's open that up. So you'll notice that we've got a version of this here, which is the keyword version. And this is just doing one record at a time. It's doing both summary and keyword on one record at a time. I have another version of this exact same script that is doing it in a loop. So let's go ahead and run that script right here against this set of 21 records and see what we get back. Okay, now that that loop is complete, you see that all 21 related records now have a single sentence and up to 3 different keywords extracted. So now what we can do is put that single sentence into our portal row. So if we go here, now you see we have a nice compact summary that we did not have to go through. We could do this for, hundreds of thousands of records as a batch. And if we want to see the difference between the two of them, we can see that there's a kind of a long write-up with over 100 words. We see the sentiment analysis of it from the previous movies and our summary statement. And each one of these records has that. And within the press of a button, we're able to intelligently take blocks of text and summarize those into single sentences. And this is just one of the thousands of different use cases that I thought might be interesting for those of you that work with FileMaker to see, because this is an API integration, which means that you don't have to rely on Core ML to have a native Mac OS communication between FileMaker and the model. Instead, this can just be up on the cloud and you can have your users run these on demand if they want to. This could be a server-side script that happens every night or every hour or whatever so that the users aren't even part of that process. But the idea here is that we can use machine learning to be able to evaluate blocks of text. And as you saw, we were able to get both summary based on the parameters of the SMMRY API, as well as keywords. In an upcoming movie, I'll show you a little bit of a trick that I was using to tell the story of what we can do with keywords. Again, tons of different use cases for these things, but just some fun examples to get you guys thinking. So I hope you enjoyed this from the iSolutions Lab. This is Chris Ippolite from iSolutions talking about machine learning, APIs, and FileMaker.